the people with best reactions to the 2025 R1 Australian Grand Prix. Alright, bet you guys thought we weren't gonna make them. Sorry that we're so late, things happen. But hey, it's the first race of the season, so we can risk being this late. And also, it's not a double header, so we can risk being this late. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the Australian Grand Prix. Of course, we're gonna start with our race rating, which we're gonna do immediately, and we're actually gonna be tallying them up over the season. And we're gonna be using that to rank our races. I'm just gonna put it in the description of the video. But yeah, anyways, my race rating, I'm gonna be quite generous. I'm gonna say a 7 out of 10. Let's both give it and then we give our thoughts. I'll say a 6.5 out of 10. Okay, so why have you given it a 6.5 out of 10? Honestly, I don't know. It's something with Australia, but it's like one of those races that, if it's a good race or not, it's kind of forgettable. It's kind of feels like a Vegas. Like whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but you don't remember anything from Australia. Like, I can't even remember who won last year, and Manson won last year. Like, it's kind of weird, Like, how much ever happens in Australia, you never remember. I feel the same way. Like, Australia is all probably because it's always so long ago. So, and this race continues that thing. There was never really a big flashpoint in this race. Some people say it was kind of boring, honestly, which I do kind of agree with. But the first thing that we have to talk about, of course, well, I think the reason that it was just a little bit on the boring side is just because for some reason you couldn't really pass. A track that you'd think passing would be pretty good at, you weren't really able to pass. Well, I won't say so. You were able to pass, but it's there weren't really any big position gains. Like if you didn't watch the race, you would think that was a pretty boring race. But there was a good amount of overtakes. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the actual race. The first thing we had was lap one. Finally got the season going. That was great. And then we didn't get halfway through. Well, we got it halfway through, and then who? First of all, who's at fault? Edward or Frank? Definitely Frank. I mean, definitely Edward. Yeah, I agree. Also, Frank, of course, was very highly spoken after that race. Why would he go down? And and I agree with Frank. Why would Edward go? First of all, it's lap one of the new season. That's the most narrow corner of the track. Yet he goes for a dive down the inside. And probably the worst dive bomb of all time. And it's he was in 11th. He was probably, let's be fair. He was probably only going to finish 10th anyways. He was probably only going to finish 10th. Not whose fault that he got a bad start and Frank got in front of him. He was probably only going to finish 10th anyways. So yeah, he basically just risked a point. So which might have been useful. Yeah, I basically agree with everything. I think it was a rookie error. And I think it was completely his fault. He did receive 2 penalty points. I was gonna say since this lap one that he might have gotten off, but I wouldn't want him to get off for that. Because I was just plain you had a choice. Why that was completely his choice. Why I don't know why he did that. Anyways, we had a few overtakes. Yeah, Manson won. But not by a lot. So yeah, the race still felt pretty dominant, but when you see Manson only won by 2.1 seconds, I think it is, or 2.5. It wasn't a dominant victory. Yeah, it wasn't. the theory that the teams have closed up, that's definitely true. The teams have definitely closed up a good amount because last year it was 25 seconds. This time David's 2.5 seconds behind. So yeah, it should be an interesting season. But yeah, nothing really else happened other than lap one. Oh yeah, we did have Dragma being spun out by Short. Short did get a penalty. He apologized after. But yeah, who really looked good? Claren and Arkansas, they're gonna trade the second fastest car. Jones looked nowhere. It was just maybe just a track dependent, but it weren't like too far off. Um, Yellow Sheep definitely looked the fifth fastest team. Sixth looks like Sart's in that place again, and maybe BMW. I forgot we even didn't even mention them. Jared somehow snuck a point somehow. I like yeah. Jay just played the entire Sart, and yeah, Emerald, as we predicted, they do not look great. They had a very bad race. But yeah, that's basically gonna wrap it up for our, you know, for our people's best reactions. Yeah, we're back. That's all I can say. And yeah, in a week's time, literally a week's time, we'll be preparing for the next Grand Prix, which is Van Cluse. But yeah, we'll see you guys then.